We pass them every day. Grassy mounds, lonely ridges, little hills tucked in valleys or rising just above towns. We assume they're natural, formed by time, just dirt. But what if some of those hills aren't hills at all? What if they're artificial, built with purpose, packed with stone, knowledge, and secrets? Some were sacred sites. Others were meant to be forgotten. And one, it might be the oldest temple ever discovered. Older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids, older than history itself. Today we're uncovering 3 ancient megastructures that were hidden in plain sight. For decades, they were dismissed, ignored, even laughed at, till someone started digging. It was just a bump in the hills of southeastern Turkey. Locals called it Göbekli Tepe, Potbelly Hill. To archaeologists, it was nothing. Too small. Too ordinary. Probably a Byzantine gravesite. So for years they ignored it. Then in 1994, a shepherd found a strange stone sticking out of the ground. A dig began, and what they unearthed changed history forever. Under that hill were circular stone temples, meticulously arranged. Some of the pillars weighed 10 to 20 tons. They were covered in carvings of foxes, lions, vultures, scorpions, and abstract symbols no one could decode. And here's the twist. These weren't from 3,000 years ago, not 5,000, not even 8,000. Göbekli Tepe is over 11,000 years old. Built around 9600 BCE, time when mainstream historians claimed humans were still hunter-gatherers with stone tools. So how did primitive people move 20-ton stones? How did they organize construction before the invention of agriculture, metal, or the wheel? And why did they bury the entire site under layers of dirt and rubble intentionally? Some believe Göbekli Tepe wasn't just a temple. It was a knowledge vault, spiritual machine designed to align with the stars and encode early human cosmology. Others claim it was part of a forgotten civilization, one that rose and fell before the ones we know. Either way, it broke the timeline. History had to be rewritten. And we've only excavated 5% of the site. Imagine what's still underground. They thought it was just a hill, and they were off by 7,000 years. In the rolling hills of southern Ohio, there's a strange formation that you'll miss unless you see it from above. From the ground, it's just another long, grassy rise in the earth. But take to the skies, and you'll see it. A serpent. A 1,348-foot-long snake, coiled and curving in deliberate patterns. Its mouth open wide, swallowing a giant egg. This is the Great Serpent Mound, and no one can fully explain it. Mainstream archaeologists first thought it was built by the Adana culture, around 300 BCE, but recent carbon dating at deeper layers suggests something far older, possibly over 5,000 years old, placing it alongside Egypt's oldest pyramids. Others even argue it dates back to the Younger Dryas period, a time of global cataclysms and lost civilizations. But here's the catch. There are no bones, no tools, no signs of a village, just the serpent. So who built it? And more importantly, why? Look closer. You'll see it's not just art, it's a calendar. The serpent's curves line up with solstices and equinoxes. Its head points to the summer solstice sunset. Some researchers believe it tracks lunar cycles with uncanny accuracy. Others argue it points to constellations and eclipses known only to advanced astronomers. Could this be an earthbound star map designed to mirror the heavens above? Or a ritual site to observe cosmic cycles? And perhaps send messages to the stars no one knows. That's what makes it even stranger. Because for a hill, it's smart. Too smart. Some theorists believe ancient builders understood geometric frequencies, using spirals and curves to harness Earth's energy. They say the Great Serpent isn't just symbolic. It's functional, like a tuning fork for the land itself. Sound far-fetched? Well, similar theories were once dismissed about the pyramids, until scientists discovered those structures could amplify electromagnetic waves. So now we ask, was this serpent built to align with the stars? Or was it built to interact with the Earth itself? Their answer changes everything. It's one of the world's largest effigies, built without machines, buried by time, and still whispering messages we can't quite decode. And it's not alone. Because in the mountains of Indonesia, something even stranger lies beneath the jungle. To most people, it looks like a hill, covered in trees, layered in grass, peaceful. But locals in West Java have known for centuries. This hill has secrets. The Gunung Padang, the mountain of enlightenment. At first glance, a random pile of volcanic stones, maybe a natural rock formation. That's what researchers thought too, until someone started digging. What they found underneath the surface could rewrite the entire history of civilization. In the early 2010s, geologist Dr. Danny Hillman Nadawija led a team that used ground-penetrating radar and core sampling at Gunung Padang. What they discovered was shocking. Beneath the visible stones were multiple layers of man-made terraces under that. A giant geometric structure buried in hardened lava. Some parts of the inner layers were dated to as early as 20,000 BCE. That's not a typo. 20,000 years ago. 10,000 years before Göbekli Tepe. 15,000 years before the pyramids of Egypt. If true, it would make Gunung Padang the oldest known pyramid on Earth. But here's where it gets even stranger. As soon as these findings were made public, mainstream archaeologists pushed back hard, claimed the dates were flawed, the structures were just natural formations. The interpretations were pseudoscience, yet despite opposition, the scans and drill cores continue to show right angles, chambers, and artificial construction techniques buried deep within the earth. And many are now asking, why the urgency to dismiss it? What's being protected? And what's being denied? Dr. Nadawija even reported that his excavation was shut down by the government, his funding pulled, access restricted. What were they trying to hide, or what were they trying to protect us from knowing? If Gunung Padang truly is over 20,000 years old, then our timeline of human civilization is wrong. Radically wrong, it suggests. Advanced culture existed during the Ice Age. They possessed architecture, astronomy, and geometry, and something wiped them out, leaving only fragments buried beneath the soil. What was it? A flood? A cataclysm? A global reset? And if so, what else is still hidden? Because if we found one forgotten pyramid, how many more are out there? They called it a hill. But beneath its roots lies a structure that may outdate every city, every temple, and every written word on Earth. Buried, forgotten, possibly on purpose. So we're left with one question. What else is still underground? A giant stone sphere in Bosnia, serpent carved across a hillside in Ohio, a jungle-covered pyramid, possibly older than history itself. These aren't myths, are real places, measurable, observable, and for the most part, ignored. We were taught that history moves in a straight line, simple to complex, primitive to advanced. But what if that's a lie of omission? What if beneath our feet are clues to civilizations we've forgotten? Not because they were false, but because we weren't ready to remember. These megastructures, hidden under soil, stone, and skepticism, may not be anomalies. They might be breadcrumbs, left behind by a world we don't fully understand. A world where knowledge wasn't always written. It was encoded into the land. Geometry and astronomy were survival tools. Energy flowed through stone, shape, and sound. And maybe they didn't vanish. Maybe we did. Here's what these hills really teach us. That truth is layered literally. That history is not always in books. And that what lies beneath often reveals more than what's in plain sight. So the next time someone tells you it's just a hill, ask, have they ever looked beneath it? Have you ever visited a place that felt older than time? Drop your story in the comments. If this blew your mind, hit the like button so we can dig deeper literally. Don't forget to subscribe for more hidden truths the world wants you to overlook.